Hey guys, how are you doing? Oh, do you know what I've gone and done? I've ruined the surprise, haven't I? Because Drake Liddell's already on the screen. Hang on, let's pretend that we've okay, we haven't seen him yet. There we go. There you go. Hi guys. Hi. Guess what? We've got a real special show for you today. Yeah, it's a surprise. But not really, not anymore. Yeah, we've got Drake Liddell. I'm just going to say a few hellos to everybody. Because we've got 3 minutes before it's 7. So we're early-ish. Well, we are actually. We're an hour early. Hi. Yeah, I know. I bet you are wondering what the surprise is, aren't you? You'll have to wait. You're going to have to wait. Hello, Topsan. Hello, Richie B. Hello, Madda. Hello, Grazer. Hello, Jew. Hello, Martin. Hello, Will Masterton. How are you doing, mate? Richie B. DJ Donut. Good to see you all. Yeah, so here we are. Another demo drop. The last one, possibly this year? Let's have a quick look. I forget what the days are around this time of year, so let's have a quick look in the old calendar. So if the date today is, what is it, 20th? Oh, okay. So the next Tuesday is going to be 27th. I might do one then. But just to remind everyone, on the 30th, I'm going to be attempting to beat my record of 62 hours live streaming with Hey Afart, with Hi Super Marco, Hi Vincenzo. I'm going to try and beat my 62-hour live stream DJ thing and try and do 72 hours. And I know for me, the only way that that's possible is through one of the things that makes it easier for me is to do it for charity. Global Awakening Record says you're mad, Amber. It's YOU''RE. You're mad because you're using the wrong grammar. Thank you. He's corrected himself as well. That's brilliant. That would never happen on Facebook. Brilliant. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've just bought myself some more oxygen. I have I found this very, very useful. So anyone that's not ever tried oxygen, it's really good, you know. Oh, I know. I've got actual oxygen. I find it really helpful. When I went to Las Vegas and I got really, really drunk, it kept me awake. So I'm hoping that that's going to see me through. You never tried it. I know, you should get some in your life. So, but yeah, without further ado, let's bring in the one and the only Drake Liddell. Here we go. Hello, mate.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing?
Yay! Wicked. So, for those of you who don't know, Drake's an old friend of mine and also a very, very esteemed colleague, and is going to be helping us with the whatever it is that we do here, feedback. Yeah. So just, you know, because it's all very well, you know, me sitting here saying stuff, but it's also really, really helpful for us to get more experienced producers in here as well. So Drake, do you want to just give us a bit of background from you, like what is your styles of music that you produce, how long you've been doing it for, all that kind of stuff?
Well, I've been DJing since I first got my first set of turntables, which I was 12-year-old at the time.
Yeah.
I'm now 35. I started producing about 8 years ago, I think it was. Mm-hmm. That was when I actually got right into producing and that. And then from there, I basically started with Makina.
Oh, I love that stuff.
Having a bit of dabble with all sorts, really, and then I really started getting my name in there with like hard house and bounce.
Yeah.
They were like my main sort of genres of music. But I've sort of thingied away a little bit from hard house. And then every time I hear some hard house playing, I'm thinking to myself, I need to make some more of that.
Oh.
But like bounce, I'd say bounce is like my main thing at the moment anyway. And what a lot of people know us for and that, like.
I quite like a lot of your slower stuff now, you know, your groovier hard house stuff.
Yeah.
Like that for me is like, I mean, I love all that stuff, but I find it a bit more memorable, you know, because the thing is with bounce and with hard house, as much as we both love it, and this isn't to slag it off, it's quite difficult to be unique and authentic in that style, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's what, like, from last year, I was just sat in the studio one day and I just thought, you know what, right, I need to do something totally different, what no one else is doing, and just sound different to everyone else as well.
Yeah.
So then I started writing a track with some nice trance elements and that, and
Yeah.
then like it all just come from there. So basically, like, yeah, like they're nice, lovely trance breakdowns with lovely build-ups and that, and then like some hard drops and stuff, and then huge synths and all that, like within the track and everything. And so it's been pretty well, like that sort of style for us at the moment. I mean, a lot of people know us for that now, so I've put my little stamp on it.
I do really, really see a massive jump up from where you were, like when we very first started talking, probably about 4 years ago now, 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, you were good then, but it seems like, and it's really helpful and promising for other producers, including myself here, that we see that it literally is a case of doing the work, isn't it? It's sitting there, finishing music, getting feedback, trying different things. Do you feel now that you've got your sound?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've definitely got my sound. Like, I mean, like, well, loads of people were asking us, like, oh, what's that sound? What's them sounds you use and stuff like that? And I'm just like, basically, like, sounds of my own, like.
Yeah.
So, and then that's when I decided to do the sample pack, and that I thought, right, everyone keeps asking us about my sounds and that. And
so
Mate,
thought, right, I'm so proud of you. I really am. But yeah, and also, guys, Drake has also got is it a sample pack that's out at the moment?
Yeah, sample pack, yeah.
So tell us a bit more about that. What is in that?
Right, well, basically, you've got everything. You know what? I'm actually going to open the folder because
yes,
I'll tell you exactly what's in it. Before we get started with music,
someone's just said actually, can we hear a Drake little track? Yes, we can. I'll find one on here. I'm going to find one now. Oh my goodness, while you're doing that, I'm just going to say a few thank yous. I need everyone in the chat, please, to put all the F's in the chat right now because Danny F has just paid me £20 via Ko-fi. Thank you. Yay!
I was just thinking there, Amber, you're probably better off showing them like one of my recent ones.
Yeah. Do you want to send it me over?
Yeah, I'll send you.
Send me what you want me to show you over.
Yeah,
and I'll play it now just so we can get a kind of a bit of an idea of what you're all about. Yeah, thank you so much, Danny F. Also, I want to say a big thank you to Mama Claire, who has, I'll just turn off my alerts actually, who has just resubscribed 21 months at tier 2. Mate, I love you. Thank you. And also Ravester Records. Oh, Ravester Records, that's a great name. And Alex, thank you very much for following. DJ Donut, thank you for a gifted sub there. To Miss Keegs. Oh, you guys. I will keep talking, Mama Claire. Also, guys, if you can please follow Mama Claire because me and Mama Claire do streams together as well. So yeah, if you send it to me, how are you going to send it to me?
I'm going to send it through Facebook through a WeTransfer.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then when you get that, I'll let everyone know what's in this pack as well.
Yeah, send that me over now. What else was I going to say? I've told you all about the 72-hour live stream I'm going to be doing over New Year's.
That'll be awesome, that.
It's we'll see, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll see, but I am pretty confident that I can do it. But I'm going to have to do it. Okay, I'll get it now. I've got to do it now before I get too old, Dean, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Aphot, yeah, we've got everything in for today, my darling. If you can send it me over for next week, thank you, Aphot. duh, 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 duh. Okay, so we've got Drake Liddell, Shamed featuring Zara. Okay, let's have a listen to this then.
That was where I found, that was the first track where I found me sound.
Is it? Oh, okay. So this is like a
It was
pinnacle
last
moment for
year,
you.
and it held #1 on Juno for 2 weeks.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Right, let's have a listen to this. And here we go, guys. This is Drake Liddell. And it is Shamed. One sec. Just set this all up. Is this out now?
Yeah, it's out on This Is Bounce UK.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, right. Right, let's have a listen. Oh. mate. And because you've sent that to me, I've got that now. I'm going to be reading
Yeah.
that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. How long did that take you to make?
I think I actually did spend a couple of days on that, to be fair. Like,
A couple of days?
I think I actually did, yeah.
Is that good or bad to you?
It's actually quite bad to us, really, because now sometimes I can start a track at like 10 o'clock in the morning, maybe, and then like usually I can finish them by afternoon time.
What?
Yeah.
That's not fair. Yeah,
Mind you,
that's...
sometimes there's tracks where I can sit on them for like about a week or something, like, and you just think, oh God, what's going on? Yeah, I can't get this
Yeah,
right.
you have to stay in the same mindset, don't you? I mean, I'm getting a little bit quicker now, but yeah, sometimes it can still take me a while. But yeah, that's amazing. But again, that's just repetition. That's, sitting down and doing the work, and it's obviously paying off for you, mate. So,
Right, I'll quickly just mention what's in this sample pack before
go on
we
then.
crack on anyway, just because I know everyone wanted to hear. Right, so as far as bass lines, you've got like your normal just your normal saw bass lines and stuff like that, and then sub bass lines. Then there's a few donk bass lines in there, organ bass lines, and then you've got the usual like drum stuff like claps, cymbals. You've got closed hats, crashes, open hats, and rides. Effects, you've got downfillers, reverb kicks, risers, and uplifters.
Mm-hmm.
Then fills, there's a few of them. Some of them are like BPM, set to like 150 BPM and that as well. There's 20 kick drums in there, plus one of my favourite ones, what I've like made myself in kick 2 as well. There's
I love
some
kick
MIDI
2.
in there. There's some midis in there from my own tracks, so you can just drag and drop them in.
Cool.
And have a mess about with them. Plus, I've done some chord progressions, some minor and major chord, just random ones, but they're all labelled. Then there's percussion loops. There's all sorts of sounds from the Roland JP8000 keyboard, what I've got. Brass sounds, bell sounds, lead sounds, organ sounds, piano sounds, pluck sounds, sound effects, stabs, strings, and synths. And then there's snare hits, there's snare rolls, what I've like made, so you can just drag and drop them in. There's a load of stab sounds, and then there's a few acid loops made from the TD3. The Behringer TD3.
Yeah. Oh, wicked.
As well. So yeah, that's all. That's everything there. Well, like I say, I've had some great reviews from it so far. So
that's brilliant. I knew that you would, though.
In touch with us.
Oh, wicked, babe. Well, that's fantastic. So where can people get that from?
Well, really, all I done with it, I just put like a post up on Facebook and that, and saying like for people to just messages through Facebook. And
okay, cool. So if anyone just messages you, you can send it to them.
Yeah, message through Facebook out like that, or Instagram or anywhere.
Cool. And then like PayPal to you or something.
Yeah, cool. That's it. Yeah, and then I just send a Dropbox link.
Keeps it simple that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Right, cool. So without further ado, we are going to get on with the first track, and the first one is from John Holland. So we've got John Holland, we've got WCX, we've got Grazer J, we've got Loesi on the Ground with Common Sense, we've got People Like Us, and Azimuth Man. I've gone for as eclectic a mix of people as possible, so just so that we've got more for you to listen to, Drake. And I keep calling you Drake, but it's Dean. I call you Dean, but like I have to remember that your producer name is Drake Little.
Well, like I say, I do go by I've got like another alias as well, which I just go by the name of just Liddell, and that's my trans alias.
Yeah, not Liddell, yeah. Liddell.
Yeah. Liddell, yeah, that's it, yeah. A lot of people do get wrong with that, like, but never mind.
I really want you to get sponsored by Liddell. I really do. I think it would be brilliant for you.
It would, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Martin, I've not seen a an email from you yet. I just need to explain to everybody how behind I am with emails at the moment. So just bear with me. We've got quite a lot to get through because I think I had 2 weeks off recently, and then another 2 weeks off before that, and just one show in the middle. So we're a little bit behind. But if you did send anything with a time sensitive WeTransfer link or something, just please send the email again. We will get to it. You don't know. You'll never spam me, Martin. Don't you worry. I love getting emails from you guys. Honestly, sometimes it's just worth just sending another email, because if I get it twice, then at least I've got it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't bother me. It wouldn't upset me or anything. It's what upsets me is not getting everyone's tracks through. So, right, let's have a look where else. So John Holland, this is changes everything. Here we go. There we go, guys. That is Changes Everything by John Holland. So before we get to Dean, I'm just going to say a couple of things that I've noticed on this. I also, like a few of you, think that this is a really good idea. There are some really nice elements to this track. It is memorable. The vocal is great. The only issues that I find on this aren't really creative ones, and sometimes it's the creative decisions and the creative ideas which are sometimes the hardest to come by. But for me, there were just a few technical things that were sticking out to me. So around about 4 minutes in, there's an FM synth sound, and this FM synth sound, it had some kind of like, maybe it had some kind of like filter sweep on it or something which was running through, and there was some very harsh frequencies. Even at the volume of my monitors, which isn't high at the moment, it was becoming quite ear piercing. So if you imagine that in a club, or in someone's ears, that's going to cause some issues. Very, very easily fixed, maybe with a bit of dynamic EQ or just like some surgical EQing in that range, just to bring out those harsher frequencies. You sometimes find this in 909 open hi-hats and stuff like that as well, where they'll have like an area. I can't remember what it is, maybe about 7 or it's between 7 and 9 kilohertz, and usually that will need to be kind of like just taken out just around those frequency bands areas. Then the only other thing that I could hear was there seemed to be a bit of distortion around about 6 minutes, so that might be some kind of limiting issue. Seemed a little bit squashed at certain points. Again, easy fix. Yeah, a bit of clipping. Yeah, again, very, very easy fixes. What about you, Dean? What did you think to that?
I actually quite liked it. It had like this dead nice chilled out vibe to it, like, you know what I mean? You could just like just see yourself bobbing about in a club like that. Like,
bobbing about.
Yeah, I did notice the bass was quite nice, but it seemed like there was a little bit of muddiness in there.
Okay.
And I thought it was like it sort of didn't like fit well with the kick. I think the kick could have been brought, like, it needs to be brought out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then I noticed a couple of other little bits as well, like that seemed to be like clashing a little bit. Like it was like they were sort of like fighting over each other, like some of the sounds. And like you mentioned as well about the sound, what it sounded a bit like too. It was like, obviously it must have been a bit like clipping like sort of type. I think well, like I would say like just a little bit more work on it. The ideas are there, and like the levels and stuff, and like sorting out a little bit more on your EQ and getting that kick and bass right as well.
Yes.
And getting them fitting together nice and well would be. But
would you agree it's worth going back and fixing this track?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I would say go back and fix it. I quite liked it. I was like sitting there just like I was feeling it, like sort of thing.
Yeah, like, I was as well. Defo. Yeah, really lovely vocal as well. Really, really nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the vocal as well. I really like that. But there was in certain parts of that as well, it seemed like it could have just been brought up a couple of dB. But other than that, yeah, like I really liked it. Like,
nice one. Cool. Okie dokie. Well, thank you, John. I don't know if John's in at the moment in the chat, but John sent in some amazing tunes in the past. So it was a really fun one called Naughty Biscuits that he sent in.
I'm sure I was what.
Yeah, you might remember that one. Yeah, because we put the words up to it on the screen. Like he always does really memorable bits and pieces. So like, yeah, this is.
I remember the name.
Yeah, see a few people in the chat remember it as well. Yeah, Naughty Biscuits. Okay, so next up we have got, oh my God, this one I heard. I don't like to hear the track all the way through because I like to listen to it when you guys hear it. But obviously I have to vet them a little bit. I really, really like this one. So this is WCX Break My Body. Go. That is WCX Break My Body. Nothing to help in terms of music production prowess or anything, but what I will say is I really enjoyed the two drops. I liked the way that they were still uniform, but they were slightly different. So they had different pace, they had different energy to them. I also liked the use of the reverb, and that use of space, and then kind of like chopping that at the right times, like, and just to give it emphasis and expression. I love ideas like that, simple ideas implemented well. What about you, Dean? Dean, where are you? Are you still muted?
Yeah, I am. Sorry. I've got to unmute yourself. No, yeah, I thought that was brilliantly. Like, the transitions were bang on, like lovely. Like everything fitted together so well, so nice. And there was that little synthy, that little that little sound that's like a saw sound, but it sounded like what's it called, man? God's sake. More of like a pulse type sound.
Yeah.
That little doo 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 doo, that bit as well. That done it for me. Like, I'd say the thing about me, like, I've got these things for like little sounds and that, like that in tracks, and like little plucky sounds and stuff. I always like always things that I always remember in a track, or things that I'll hear in a track. Like, some people just listen to like main parts of the track. I always like to listen like in between little things and that. Me like, but yeah, I mean, overall, like, you can't even complain about that.
No, it's
Like,
it's
I'd
brilliant.
play that, like,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah,
I'd play that in a club, like, 100%. I thought it was dead, like, had a good little groove to it and that, like.
yeah. Same, babes.
And the vocals were great as well.
Have you put
So,
your speaker up because I can hear myself doubling back?
yeah,
Did you put your speakers up a little bit because I could hear
yeah, I did,
my?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't do that.
Get told
You
off
know when
on
you're
that.
on the phone to someone and it does that thing.
It goes coming back, yeah.
Oh, it really freaks me out. Like it makes me
I,
actually feel off balance. It's really
I,
strange.
it's weird that, like.
Oh, cool. Okay, so yeah, we both agreed we really like that one, don't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
100%.
brilliant. Okay,
I
cool.
can't really, I can't really see anything like more about it. To be fair.
Yeah, same.
Um,
I really like it when people send in stuff to this caliber though, because it just goes to show people of this standard, and you're included with this, Dean, as well,
yeah,
are not getting the recognition. I get quite frustrated for people because I see so many
yeah,
shit people, and I'm not going to mention any names, but
yeah,
there are people out there who really, from as far as I can see, are just aggressively marketed. They have a massive team around them and they're not making their own music. And I mean, I don't have a problem with that per se. What I have a problem with is the lying behind it. You know, I think it's fine to have an engineer. I think that's perfectly fine as long as you're being transparent about it. But then there are so many people like yourselves, like this WCX, who are obviously so talented, and it's just difficult to get a foot in the door because they will label you as not being marketable enough, not being young enough, not having a big enough following. You know, it breaks my heart sometimes.
It's a bit like King Arthur on the Knights at the Round Table. You're not getting in. You're not
Yeah,
getting in on this table. Isn't it? You're not getting in on this table.
there's a
This is
lot of
our circle.
gatekeeping.
Yeah,
But I think
definitely.
it's changing. Yeah, Martin said there as well. There's a lot of gatekeeping. I think it's changing now because the need to be on a record label is a lot less. You know, like you said yourself, you're doing your sample pack. You're just going to do it through PayPal, and you know, when people message you, people can do Bandcamp now, DistroKid. There are so many ways that you can get your music out there, and I do think that helps. But like, it's still a lot of this is all a publicity game and a popularity contest.
100%.
It really is, but it really does annoy me.
It annoys me
does.
as well. I mean, I've been helping quite a lot of people lately, like doing stuff over Zoom. And there's a lad that I help called Greg Evans, and honestly, man, like we've only done I think we've done 3 or 4 Zoom sessions, and this was like 4 and 5 hours, and honestly, the improvement from him is just unreal. Like,
Wow.
and then like I'm sure he's just managed to get one of these tracks on somewhere. I think it might have been Bounce Heaven Digital or Acceleration.
Brilliant.
But I mean, like you say yourself, they're not really too hard to get on because it's just a digital download store. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like a proper label and out like the likes of Cheeky Tracks or something. That's a proper label that you sign with. It gets distributed on all platforms, Beatport, you name it. You know what I mean? So it's a completely different sort of thing. Like,
yeah, that's
but
a good
it does
point.
annoy me. It does annoy me though that like some people out there are really like they are good and talented and that, and like you say, they don't really get the recognition. It's like you just get like kicked to the curb a bit, like, and it's not nice. Like,
well, they don't get on the curb to begin with. That's kind of the problem. I mean, I know with my career, if I didn't get signed to Tidy, it would have been a lot harder for me to have be able to continue my career as I am now. But I kind of knew that, so I always learned on the way. So I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with getting picked up by an agency and having management and all the rest of it, as long as you are. And again, this is subjective, but for me, it all boils down to integrity. And you know, like when your fan base find out that you've lied, like maybe some of them don't care, but then, you know, I honestly think that if you have to go to sleep at night knowing that you're pretending, and not just that, it's a level, and again, I can't really name, oh, well, I won't name any names with this, but there's a lot of aggression when it comes to certain people who have ghost producers. A lot of them are friends of mine. This isn't just me saying this without any proof or any like understanding. This is an area where I understand it a lot. And these are friends of mine who are very, very good at engineering, very, very good at, and like I said, I have no problem with people getting work engineered. In fact, that's perfect because it means that your music's getting out there. You know, that's not the problem. It's the ones who pretend that they've made the track. And then not only that, but they then hound their ghost producer when something's not completely correct, or they think that they've finished a project only to then get another call from their client saying, no, this needs to be changed now. No, this needs to. And most of the time, the people who are like that are the ones that pay peanuts and just expect these ghost producers to take that. And, you know, it becomes quite a volatile environment to be in, because those people who are living the lie and pretending that they're making the music, what happens when their ghost engineer decides that they don't want to do that for them anymore? You know, there's so many like backhanders and like threats, you know, there's a whole dark underbelly to that kind of thing. And I just wish that it wasn't like that. But anywhere that you have money, I guess this is going to happen, isn't it, Dean?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I mean, like me, I make a lot of people's tracks and that. There's loads of people in the bounce scene, like you'll hear loads of tracks floating about, and there'll be loads that's made by myself and that.
Yeah.
But a lot of them who I do make them for, they actually come to the studio and sit, and I don't just sit there and just make the track.
Yeah.
I sit there and I make them have their input on it as well.
Absolutely. That's how I used to do it. It's brilliant. And you get a fun day out. You get to learn stuff. There's, like I said, and I want to massively reiterate this point, there is absolutely nothing wrong and everything right with anyone that wants to use an engineer to have a track, to fulfill, you know, ideas that they've got in their head, or, you know, to further their DJ career. That's absolutely perfect. This is a very small percentage of people who are lying.
Yeah.
We don't like liars.
No, I just don't see the point of it. Like, I mean, like, especially when the likes of us, who are producers and that myself, and we know that it's not them.
I know, but it's so obvious, Dean, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
All you need to do is have one conversation with them and say something like, okay, so I'm just wondering, like, what's your effects chain on your lead bus group?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
That's all you need to do is just have one conversation like that, and you just know straight away, and then they know you know as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's not just that though, as well though. A lot of the tracks you can tell as well, like, you can sort of tell who's made them. Like there's that little bit of like style in there of how things are done, how the tracks are made and that, and you can hear little sounds and stuff in there. What just the way the whole track's made and that, you can tell. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like most majority of the time, you can tell who's made it.
Yeah. The Audio Brothers is right. They're even more awkward when you know they lie. It's just, I feel bad for them, but I mean, each to their own. It all depends how you value success. But for me, I just think, do you know what? Just learn. Just learn. Definitely. Just see what happens, because you will be shit to begin with. You know, we all are. But like Jordan Peterson says, you're gonna be a fool when you first start doing something. Everyone is. But you are going to be a fool, and you need to be okay with that. You need to be okay with making mistakes and then correcting that mistake and then making mistakes. And it's that progress, isn't it? But that's definitely what makes it so...
it's all a big learning curve.
Yeah. Like for
Yeah.
me, it's more of it runs parallel with the journey of self-belief, being a
Yeah.
music producer and making music, because it is this kind of, I fucking hate this. I hate myself. This is shit. I'm shit. Oh, this could work. Oh, this
Yeah.
is good. Oh my God, that was brilliant. And then it's like a really dysfunctional relationship almost.
Yeah, like I've still got like tracks. I've still got the first track I ever made, and sometimes just just to listen, like just to sit and reminisce a bit. Like I'll sit and I'll play it
Yeah.
just to listen back and think, bloody hell, what a journey I've come on. Like from
Yeah,
that
yeah.
to now, like you
Yes.
know what I mean. So always do that. A little bit of advice for people. Always do that. Listen back to like stuff from where you first started and think, bloody hell, I have come for compared to that. Like, you know what I mean?
You
It's
you
always
you make so much sense in saying that. Like, again, another really good Jordan Peterson quote that I love is, only be in competition with yourself.
that's the one.
It's so
Definitely.
important because you can really measure that. You know, if you're trying to compare yourself to another producer, to another person external to you, you don't know so many things about their journey. You don't know what they've sacrificed to get there. You don't know if it's actually them, if they're a producer or whatever. But you do know you. So if you can always come back to yourself as your measuring stick, and like you said, what you said there about listening back to some of your older tracks, did it help you when you did that?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, it obviously like now it's not really like sort of relevant to us or now, but it's just like a thing that I'd like now and then I'll think, you know what, I'll just go back and I'll listen to that first track that I ever made, and then I think to myself, oh God, bloody hell, like that isn't good, but you think of you think to yourself, you think, yeah, it's not good, but look where it's brought us now, like you know what I mean? And like Juicy is in the comments there, like time, effort, and patience is all you need as well.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing that people forget, right? I mean, when I first started my music journey as a music producer, not as a DJ, it was around about 10 years ago. And around 5 years ago, I watched a self-help video, and it said, what are you going to do in the next 5 years? And it said, 5 years is going to go whether you like it or not. So in 5 years' time, you're going to be 5 years ahead from where you are right now. So in that time, why don't you learn something? Why don't you just do the thing that you want to do, which for me was my music production, and you know, then I went into uni 2-3 years ago now, but I really started to knuckle down because for whatever reason this analogy really struck with me that yeah, in 5 years time I'll still be me, but in 5 years time I'll have this extra ability, you know, I'll be able to make music to a better degree than I am right now. And wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be special? Wouldn't that show me something? And that kind of that thought process for me made so much. It meant so much to me at the time, because if you do something every single day, or maybe just a few times a week, you won't be able to help get better at it, will you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Wise
It's
words, Amber.
inevitable.
Yeah, no, I mean, like as far as another thing goes, and that as well. I mean, like I always give people advice, in production, and that,
Hmm.
like you know, like if you've sent a track somewhere, um, and they try to say, oh, well, you need to change this riff, and you need to change that, and you need to change this bass pattern, or something like that, and like along the lines of that or whatever. Like, just don't do it. Don't change your track for no one, unless it's like subtle things like EQing and stuff like that, effects out like that. But if it's anything to do with the actual true melody in the track or anything like that, and people's trying to tell you to change it like in that way, do not change your track for anybody. Just stick with your heart, stick with how you want it and how you like it. You know what I mean?
I think you're right there, because when it's something so close to, you know, our authenticity, to change that will be it's a bit like as a DJ playing music that I didn't really like. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good advice, babes. Getting deep here on the Amber D show. Woo! Okay, next up we've got Grazer J, and this is Bad Guys. Here we go.
Bad guys.
At last, we can retire and give up this life of crime. Give up this life of crime.
bad guys.
There we go, guys. That's Crazy J and Bad Guys. Now, as before, we were just talking about engineers and ghost producers, and I did see that Crazy J said I use an engineer, but then you said, where is it? You said, so like many of my tracks, I took a project file to Martin to add polish and learn. I'm guessing Martin is Bass Jumper Martin? To add polish, or was it Harrison J Martin? To learn his first words were, "This is 1,000% better than the last time I saw you. I was a bit chuffed." So you are making your own music. This is the point, you know. You're. I wouldn't class that as just using an engineer. Yeah, as in Martin, as in M series. Cool. Yeah, I don't class that as being even using an engineer, which again, like I said, I don't have any problem with that, and it's only my opinion that people shouldn't use ghost producers and lie, but whatever people do is fine. But I'd say that you are a producer, you are making your own music, and you should be so proud of yourself. Like Martin said, everyone needs help. I mean, for me, it's quite easy for me because when I get stuck, and it's all the time I get stuck in music production, I have Guyver living in the house. I get to go and ask him anytime I get stuck on it, can you come and help me? And that happens a lot, and he loves helping me. He absolutely loves it. So that is, in my eyes personally, and I know people probably agree, I don't see that as using an engineer. I see that as getting a peer to go over something with you, you know, just to help you shave a few months, maybe a few years off your natural A-being, trialing ideas, messing around, changing the workflow, changing your effects chain, the little things that your favourite producers or people that you trust will be able to give you some solid advice on. Yeah, you can't be having spare ears, as Vandalize. Yeah. So, Dean, I'm going to hand it over to you. What do you think with that? Or do you want to just carry on from what I was saying there first?
Basically, acquiring like some tech tips, basically, isn't it? That's all it is. It's not like, it's not any. I mean, loads of people people message me on a daily basis, like people who are like just learning and stuff and starting out, and like they always say it was, oh, sorry for bothering you and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, you know what? I don't mind helping at all. I really do not mind helping. Like, I'll help anyone, as long as they're not arseholes, like. But
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, like acquiring a few tech tips off people. Or what's the best way to EQ this, or what's the best way to compress this, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like there's no harm in that whatsoever. Like, you know what I mean?
It can only be a good thing, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's just, it's like you just said. Obviously, you're on about Guy. I mean, like, he's unreal. Like, he's a legend.
He really is.
I remember when I was at yours, Amber, actually, and Guy come downstairs. Do you remember? And then like he ended up sitting with her for a bit, and then we were like, oh, but And then we were literally both sitting there asking him little like tips on things.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, this, that, and the other," and then show him wearing that, and you know what I mean. Like, so there's no harm in that at all. Like,
no, exactly. Like anyone that has got their heart in this game will be more than happy to like to show what they've learned. I mean, that's natural for our kind of people, isn't it? And I do think that the more that we share, that the more everyone's going to have a little bit of knowledge of something that you don't know.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. We need to get you to come back round again soon, Dean. We need to finish our tune or start another one.
Yeah, definitely, or maybe even just start a new one or something. But yeah, I'll definitely we'll definitely have to sort something out for us to come down again.
Yeah, we'll get it sorted out for next year. I need to get Martin over as well. Martin's supposed to be coming over for a mix as well.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on Grazer J's tune then, Dean?
Well, I loved it. As soon as it come in, I was like, hard house, love it, absolutely love it. No, the kick in the bass was lovely.
Yeah,
lovely, nice rolling bass line, kick punchy, sticking out there.
Yeah.
And a great use of like the gritty like saw stabs and that as well. The saw synth stabs, like I like all that sort of stuff in hard house. It gives it a real good hard house feel, then, like, you know what I mean. And I liked how he used like the use of the phaser on one part of the track, where like obviously like you had like these like stabs and that, and then like all of a sudden that ended up going like it was like they went up like an octave or something. And then all of a sudden he brought in this like phaser effects, which is very hard house feel and that as well. So I like the use of that in it and that. But the transitions were pretty good. The only thing that I thought could have been done with it was, I think it was towards more the end of the track. It was like a little bit. Well, there again, like hard house is quite repetitive anyway. Like, it seemed like it just needed like a little something extra in there, just to keep it like interesting a bit, like, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, great track. Like, I really liked it.
Cool. Okie dokie. I'd say exactly the same. I felt like maybe in the breakdown here. So let's just go back here. I mean, I love that drop on it. I'd probably, I mean, this is a very, very small thing, but I just felt like in the much quieter bit, maybe some more effects. But do you know what I mean? But I think the second time listening to it, I was more used to it. But I still like it in those quieter moments just to tie it all. And I do feel sometimes that some textures or some kind of like down rises, that kind of thing.
Maybe some little ambient sounds or something.
Something like that.
Fill it out a bit. Yeah.
The vocal as well. There was like a female vocal, wasn't there?
Aye.
But we only heard it once.
I thought I actually thought that myself.
I'd like to hear that more. Or you know, maybe some textures with like a long reverse reverb, that kind of thing in there. You know, just to like sprinkle throughout the track.
Yeah.
I'm just replying to someone. Sam Dest. Hello, mate. We've got all of the ones for this stream, my love. But if you send an email to all of the details on the screen, then we will listen to it for a future show. No problem. I want to say big hello to everyone who's just got here as well. Lady Paints a lot. Thank you for keeping us safe in the chat, my darling. 8-bit Alan James is in. Yay! Grazer J says male is Adam Baldwin, female is Gina Torres. Ooh. All vocals are from the movie Serenity. Nice.
Nice one. Nice touch.
Yeah. Cool. What would that mean then in terms of like releasing it? You know, for film, if it's got a film thingy in it, because
I'm not too sure on that, because I've actually released a track, or I was on Premonition Digital quite a few years ago, a Hard House track, and it had vocals, like vocal sounds in it from the film Snatch.
Yeah.
And it was all right in releasing it, like.
Yeah.
Plus, I've done another track which was like a bounce track quite a few years ago with In-Betweeners vocals in it as well. So I got away with that one as well, like. But
Yeah.
I'm not too sure how it actually works with like stuff like from films or like that.
Well, from what I know, they're not going to come after people. I mean, there are a lot of tracks that guys made as well, which were released, which have got all kinds of film little samples from. I honestly think, I mean, obviously, it's probably not professional of me to say this, but it is true. It's probably not going to amount to anything bad unless the track really blew up. But even then, like, it's small fry, isn't it, for you know, these big movie companies. I think you'd probably be in more hot water if it was like a label. Like, even I've had messages from Spin In, for example, saying your track uses something from one of our tunes, you need to take it down off your record label. And I was like, no, I'm just going to pretend I didn't see that email. Yeah, and I think sometimes it can just be a bit of a pissing on the decks, kind of asserting dominance, kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of just like throwing the weight around because they're a bigger label or whatever. But might be not the most professional approach, but I just ignore it. And it seems to be fine. So I'm sure a few people in the chat there have also had little samples from films. So yeah,
go for it. Yeah. Get it signed to a label.
Yeah, if you get locked up, just let us know, so we'll stop doing it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Hello to DJ Mr. as well. Vandalized DJ is in. Of course, Grazer J, who we've just heard there. Atomic Hard House. So good to see you all. And of course, Harrison J, who was in a couple of weeks ago. I just need to say a few thank yous as well to Sam, Topor, another Sam as well for following. Oh, excuse me. Sample that bitch. Yeah. Martin says Deadmau5 uses a very famous sample in his masterclass. Is like, whoops, busted. Yes, I've seen that. Do you know Deadmau5 pops in here from time to time?
Does he?
Yeah. He's been when I've been doing the DJing bit. He's not been on the demo drop yet, probably because of his the hours difference from where he is. But yeah, he pops in. This is the great thing about Twitch. It really is. It's amazing, like, you know, who's on here and who will just come across your channel and, you know, start speaking to you, building up rapport with. That's why it's really important, guys. If you're not already on Twitch or, you know, maybe even TikTok, you know, if you can bear it, you know, get yourself out there. Do some small, bite-sized little handy hints of stuff you're doing in the studio, you know? That kind of thing can always be helpful, can't it, Dean?
Yeah. Well, there's a few people keep asking me, am I going to do some like videos on YouTube and stuff like that? I did do like a few live videos, but it wasn't really so much tutorials. It was just me making a track, and I was just explaining, like, as I was going along, what I was doing and that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people did say that it did help them, like, and then I took them down. and then everyone's asking us, "Oh, you're gonna do like some more?" And I was like, "Some proper ones." Now, I thought about it. I might actually do some like tech tips ones, just with like how to EQ a kick properly and stuff like
Honestly,
that.
stuff like that is so important.
Yeah.
It really helps people to. It frames you as a teacher.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it frames you in a different role, and it makes people see you in an authoritative way. You
yeah,
know, as it should be. But people aren't going to know what you know unless you express that, and especially if you're doing it in a way that helps them and it's bite size. Like this is a way that we maybe are best off using social media without it impeding in our studio time. So yeah, I'd say definitely, Dean, you need to be doing
yeah,
some stuff like that without a
yeah,
doubt. Yay! I'd appreciate that.
yeah,
But yeah, it's sometimes the most simplest things that we'd think people are not bothered about. Like I did one the other week, which was how to recover a sample, which you've changed, which you know, like you
yeah. I
use
watched
FL.
that.
Yeah.
I
See,
watched that.
a lot of people said about that, but that's one of those like small little tech things that people wouldn't necessarily know
Yeah,
how to like get back to and to find that sample.
it's
And
like a lot of
obviously,
people
living
will.
with Guy for many years,
Yeah,
you end up learning FL inside out.
yeah, definitely.
It's crazy. But yeah, I'm glad that
It's
you
like
saw that one.
it's like a lot of people like who are like sure like who they get like stuck with like keeping things in key like while writing riffs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I mean like I just show them this little tip what I used to use years ago. There's a plugin called Pitcher, and I think I showed you it, Amber, when I come down
Mhm.
that time. A plugin called Pitcher, and basically you can. It's a free plugin on FL. You can use it like just on your channel effects
Yep.
and like your effects change. So you just stick it on your master anywhere. It doesn't matter where you put it. Like, but basically like you can choose like different like keys, like different semitones, and then you can choose which like scale you want it in, so major or minor, and then it highlights all like so basically you've got like all the keys like C, B, A, D, whatever,
Mhm.
and then it highlights each one which you can actually use, so it'll still be in the key of G minor or whatever,
Yep.
you know what I mean? Like it's very helpful like while you're learning sort of thing
Yeah.
to keep things in key.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a little tip for everyone.
Yeah,
So
I
plug
agree. I
into
think
Pitcher.
it's a native plugin, isn't it,
Yeah, yeah,
for Fruity as well. There's
yeah,
also in Ableton that has like a scalar plugin as well, which you can
yeah,
set it to whichever scale you want to be in. And also in Ableton, there's a great thing which is fold. So what you can do in the piano roll is you could put a dummy note in each of the notes for the scale that you're in, but they won't
yeah,
ever play. They'll be like the other side of like your set point. And then
yeah,
you press fold, and then what it will do, it can be confusing if you're used to seeing a complete like piano, but what it will
yeah,
do is it will fold up the piano so it will only be the notes that you would actually play. But
yeah,
what it does do is it allows you to start to try out different ideas, different chord progressions. Like there's another one, Scalar 2, which is a third party plugin. I don't know if you've used Scalar and Scalar 2.
I've got Scalar. I've got
Yeah.
the plugin itself. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I found it. I don't use it all the time, but I know when I did, it was giving me some
some
great,
inspiration.
yeah,
Yeah,
for getting myself out of the boring progressions that I know I am always guilty of doing. Like, and I'll always like to be in maybe D minor,
yeah,
or sometimes it will be in C. I'll do it from like C, but then I'll change it in the piano roll to be a different key. But then I'm always hitting the same keys, and then that subconsciously will just lead me down these same paths of progressions, which are so obvious. But yeah, using these tools is number one, we need to get out of the mindset that this is cheating. It's not. It's allowing you to be more aware of music theory.
Yeah.
And these tools are there and they're designed to help you, aren't they?
Yeah, just get as much use out of them as you can, innit?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like Joe said in the comments there as well, though, don't forget to switch it off, though, on your that picture. Like, just knock it off, not like mute the actual plugin itself, but like use the features on it, like how they highlighted the keys and stuff like that.
So, I
it's
see what you mean.
a good free, just because if you leave it on, then it starts like doing all rad sounds and that, like, so.
Yeah, it is that when I'm using, if I use the Roland plugins, you know, and they'll just keep playing, so you need to make sure you've switched them off.
Yeah.
Martin says, I tend to do minor progressions. I think I'm a closet emo. Yes, mate. Well,
I do. I prefer my minor progressions, like, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. I just like.
Well, they sound more. It's difficult to still get the kind of like the momentum and the energy and that like grittiness when it's in a major key.
Yeah.
That's kind of difficult, but we can always go from minor keys into a major and then like have a resolution chord, you know, back into, you know, you can have a track that's in a key of a minor key, but you can always move to an open major chord, can't you?
Yeah.
As part of a chord progression. But I think the only time it really is quite easy to use a major key is happy hardcore.
Yeah, definitely.
Then it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, they're like happy and upright, like.
Yeah, like
upright
we are the children of the night. For my nation. No one's gonna stop us now. You know, that's all major key, but it works because it's happy. It's happy hardcore. But yeah, I don't think Paul Glasby Hostile would have worked if it was in a major key. Oh, brilliant. Right, next up we've got Loesi on the Ground and with Common Sense, that's her name. Loesi on the Ground, Common Sense. She's been on before. And this track is called Cannot Sleep at Night. Let's go.
Give it all to be with you. I'll give it all. Give it all to be with you. I'll give it all. Give it all to be with you. I'll give it all. Give it all to be with you. I'll give it all. Give it all to be with you. I'll give it all. Give it all to be with you.
There we go. That is Loesi on the ground with Common Sense. Please, guys, go give that girl a follow on her SoundCloud. I love that one. I know she was really proud of this one as well. She said in her email that she felt like it was one of her best ones. I loved it. I think the only critique that I would have is the use of loops for the it sounded in the beginning that there was a loop used probably for the kick and maybe some of the percussion elements. I'd say in the future to finer tune your tracks and finer tune and give yourself more control over all of the parts of your percussion. Start using one shots, start using percussion hits, shaping the sounds one by one. That would probably be the only critique that I have on this. Apart from that, I absolutely loved it. It was singing to my heart and I loved the vocal. What about you, Dean?
Yeah, like you said, I noticed that as well with the kick and the percussion and that a bit. Like, whereas, like you said, it is always better to do them like individually, instead of using like loops and stuff like that, because they do tend to get a bit crunchy and muddy and stuff. Well, I loved the bass on that, and that the bass was very nice.
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so nice.
Really nice bass. And the use of the vocals I thought was great as well. Very good use of the vocals, like vocal chopping and stuff, and there was that one last little bit at the end, which it like had a little bit of a difference to it, which
it was elevation, wasn't it?
Yeah. But apart from that, it was a good track. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I know you guys liked it in the chat as well.
Very different, yeah.
It was different, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And again, like, I'm just on her SoundCloud now. She's got 18. Whoa! Thank you for Fungusai. I'm just on her thingy now. She's got 18 followers. It's like, it's just, honestly, I don't know if it's people just being damn lazy and not pushing themselves. And if it is, oh my God, I'm so glad that we have this show, because I hope that it's showing some of you who are getting really good feedback here something that you need to know, which is that you're ready and you need to get out there. What do you think, Dean?
I've definitely 100%. Like I've really enjoyed that track, to be fair. Like, I mean, it's not like something like, it's not something I play like on decks out like that, but like I listen, like I like to listen to like all types of music. Like I'll listen to anything, like, you know what I mean? And if it's good, I'll be like, yeah, I like that, it's good. You know what I mean? I always like to give honest feedback and that as well. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. And that's the kind of stuff that I would probably be listening to on a playlist on Spotify while I'm driving.
Yeah.
Good driving music, that. And also I could almost imagine the video that would go with that as well.
Yeah,
like I could see that being like something that would go off on TikTok. You know, it's very uplifting, it's very summery. But yeah, like the only thing that I would say now, Loesi, to work on is less reliance on loops and more just now get used to the process of having individual hits and enjoying shaping your sounds. And like for me, especially someone who absolutely loves techno, the amount of time I spend shaping sounds, like I've just bought a new plugin as well called Phalanx. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's by Avenger. It's amazing. It's even the the standard library of like kicks and stuff that it comes with, but it's also got like an A B, so it's a little bit like Silent in a way, where you can like have A and B, and then you can have as much as A and B as you want. So it's really good for layering if you like layering your kicks, shaping stuff's a breeze. Then you've got it will show you your waveform, and then when you go into like change anything in like the pitch envelope or the volume envelope, it will change the shape of it in real time, so you can really see what it is that you're doing to the sound.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's amazing. Oh, someone else is using Phalanx. Martin's used it. Her SoundCloud is, there you go. But yeah, something that I really, really do enjoy doing is messing around and shaping my sounds. Even things like to get really believable percussion, for example, cut to and from, you know, like when you can use the cut feature. So like when you've got an open hi-hat, it will cut when the closed hi-hat comes in, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that all those little tricks all those little tricks which will allow you to have believable percussion that you've made yourself without thinking, oh, it just sounds better if I use a top loop or whatever. Like even as simple as humanization, you know, there's different quantize and shuffles and stuff that you can use on FL, and I know that there's groove pulls on Ableton as well, which will allow you to get some movement there and to control that movement should you need to or want to. Then there's the humanization. Just changes in velocity makes so much difference, and all of these little incremental changes, the things that you are doing yourself to your music, allows you to have complete control. And then we've got things like dynamic EQ, you know, and then mid-side EQing, compression, all of these little things that you can do to have fun. And that's just percussion.
Yeah.
What do you think, Dean?
Yeah. As I've just read one of Vandalizer's comments there, he's saying like use loops to fill out and stuff.
Yes.
Which is, yeah, I mean, like in my tracks, like everything goes in piano roll, and I use a hit, like you say. So like you'll have like a kick, then you'll have clap, open hat. I sometimes use like 2 closed hats, and then like a ride and stuff like that. But then like after I've done all that, then at the very end I'll use like 1 percussion loop just to fill the little edges out, fill the little gaps in, sort of thing.
Nice.
With a bit of side chain on, so it fits in well there. And
yeah,
as long as you EQ it right, and then it's gonna sound and fit. It's gonna fit in right, isn't it? Like so. But
yeah,
just try not to use too much loops, like you've just said yourself there, because using a lot of loops in that, a lot of them don't fit together. A lot of them don't fit together well. So obviously, when you're putting loads of loops in, there's like loads of little clashy bits in places where like one loop's not going to fit with the other, and the other's not going to fit with the other. Like,
but it gives us a bit of a dopamine hit when we're getting into the loop, sort of at the beginning of making a tune. So like we've got like an 8-bar loop going or something, and you can kind of start luring yourself into a false sense of that it's going somewhere, because you'll just add another loop and you're like, oh yeah, this is great. But when it really comes down to like working out what is it from that loop that you like, is it the groove of it? Is it one of the hits that you could just take out, put it into Fruity Slicer and just take that out? Could you you know, what is it about that loop that you want? Is it all of it? And usually it won't be all of it. It will just be a little something. And it's about working that out. But yeah, I remember when I first started, I didn't even understand why there would be these individual hits of like percussion hits. I was like, why would you just give me one hi-hat? Why would you just give me one open hi-hat? And like, I didn't get it. I did not get it at all. I was like, no, I'm just going to use loops. And for a while, I think that was the best thing for me to do, because I wouldn't have really understood how to make things sound believable, you know, with the velocity changes, humanization, and, you know, just general mixing things down in relation to the kick and stuff like that. But that's all stuff that you learn. And I think it's beautiful where Loesi is at now, with being able to have got, number one, a really clean sounding track, and a really and a really good idea as well, and something so uplifting. Now it would be, you know, a great next step in her journey to then, you know, start to look at doing her own percussion, and instead of relying on loops.
Definitely,
So
yeah.
Martin Easton says Ableton Slice audio to MIDI is great because you can swap samples out when you have the patterns. Yeah, that sounds like Fruity Sampler.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah, I've heard some people I've heard some people's tracks before where they've used, like, obviously a kick drum, and then you can hear a loop in there what's actually got a kick in it as well, and it clashes with your main kick, and it's like,
Yeah.
why have you done that for?
Yeah.
Like, you just don't need that type of loop in, like, you know.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
just
because we do
spoils
have
it.
ones without the kicks in, don't we?
Yeah. So yeah, always try to be quite minimal on your loops.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, DJ Harald, bonjour, comment ça va? Mr. says,
Drake Little.
pardon?
I'm saying je m'appelle Drake Little.
Je m'appelle Monsieur Liddell. DJ Mr. says, I use 3 loops, 1 percussion, 1 hi-hat, and more shake guitar. Do you know the one? Okay, so going off that, Mr. I understand that. I respect that. The one area where I think I still struggle getting really, really good results, which is really important for techno, is the rides. So sometimes I will still use a ride loop because for me it's that can make or break a techno track.
Yeah, see, I use ride hits, but like I'm very picky with them. Like,
Yeah, me too.
there's a lot of it's same with the clap samples and that as well. Like I can change.
Oh,
I hate them. I can.
I
change the
fucking
clap
hate
sample.
claps. Why do we can we normalize not using claps, please?
Yeah. No, honestly, I changed my claps in a track about 5 times. before
Thank
it
you. I'm so happy that it's not. I'm sad for both of us, and also Jew says that they have the same thing. Yeah, claps can sod off. Yeah, it's awful, isn't it? And then I always go to the same one. It's like a BK clap I've got or something. I always end up using that.
You always have your favourites.
Oh God. But yeah, and Martin says, yeah, but some rides have got a lot of resonance. They do. 909 rides always have some resonance that needs to be brought down a bit.
Yeah,
But
definitely,
claps are, unless you find one that you just know will work, which you've cracked it at that point. Right, so People Like Us is next. I love People Like Us. So here we go. This one is called Drugs. Ta-da! Here we go.
My old man wrote me a letter from prison once. It said, if you don't want to end up like me, stay away from crime, women and drugs. Problem is, don't leave you with much else to do, does it? My old man wrote me a letter from prison once. It said if you don't want to end up like me, stay away from crime, women and drugs. Problem is, don't leave you with much else to do, does it?
Oh, how amazing is that? That is People Like Us and Drugs. Please, guys, make sure you go and follow Stefan. A firm fixture on this channel, both on my DJ streams and on here, from tracks such as Sharon Curley is at the pole. There's loads of them, loads of tracks on there that we've had on this show. So for me, like, it reminds me, this is a good reminder as well for those of us who are very much in our heads when it comes to being a producer, and everything has to be perfect, everything has to be shaped properly, everything has to be thought about in so many different 3D aspects of, like, volume, reverb, mid-side compression, all of this, like, all of the variables. And then we get someone like People Like Us, who has this ability to make very raw sounding, minimalistic, simple ideas, not easy, but simple ideas, and knowing when it's done. And that for me is a skill in itself. It reminds me a lot of the Crookers. For those of you who remember, the Crookers did quite a lot of, like, wonky, fidget, we used to call it, back in the day. But yeah, and it's all about having a good idea and then allowing that good idea to be the focal point. So in this case, drugs.
Yeah.
I love fidget. Yeah, a few people remember fidget. Yeah, I miss it as well, Vandalise. I still play fidget. I play it with my new disco stuff, and oh my god, it was a nightmare to mix, but I absolutely loved it. It was such a great era of music, along with the electro around about 2006, when everything was coming through with that kind of style as well. But yeah, it's wonk. Yeah. So what about you, Dean? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I liked it, me. I like all that sort of stuff. And anyway, it's because, well, for the type of music it is, it's got like that sort of like bass line type feel to it, and that as well.
Yes.
Whereas I'm a big fan of bass line and like speed garage. Like, I absolutely love speed garage.
Oh,
like,
me too.
I even make some of it and that as well. Like, so, but yeah, it just had this dead night, like the bass. It's the bass what does it for me. The bass line, the dead wobbly bass line.
Yeah,
It
it's
sort
that
of
movement.
reminded us of that track. What was it called, man? Years ago, it was
Mr.
actually
Wazo.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one.
We
That's
talk
the
about
one.
that one all the time on this show. It was flat beat, bam, 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 bam. Yeah.
It sort of reminded us along the lines of that.
I'm gonna have to
But
play
yeah,
it now. Hang on, let's get it up. Mr. I just remember the advert so well as well. Here we go. Yeah, man, what a song. Yeah, it inspired a generation, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that track there, it sort of reminded us along the lines of that, just with that nice wobbly bass line, and then like you had this, it was like a dead out there, like open hat. Like it wasn't just like your usual style of open hat. It had like this bit of, it sounded like it had this bit more brightness to it. Like, it wasn't like, you know how you've got your usual normal open hat and it's just or whatever. This sounded like it was just like a bit of difference, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that was, I like that about it as well. Like,
yeah, and all of his stuff is very much they're uniform, but they're also so different. And again, this is all boils down to getting your own sound, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But yeah,
I liked how it was quite like, it was simple as well, very simple, but like it was effective, like.
Yeah.
And usually sometimes that is the key, like.
Oh wow. Like for someone like me, unless I've got about at least 15 channels open and 10 VSTs, I haven't even started. It's awful. Like the struggle is so real, but you do get better, don't you, with time, with being okay with taking something out if it's not working, even if you spent hours on it.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. Like,
I never used to be able to let things go. So say if I'd made something from scratch I used to love using something called Alchemy. Alchemy was then bought by Logic. An amazing synth, FM, spectral. It was quite a few different types of synthesis in it, but it had these key triggers. It had macros. It had so many different ways to use, and the main part of it was one of the very first synths, apart from Harmer, it was the only other synth that I had where I could actually put in audio into one of the oscillators.
Yeah.
And that for me was just groundbreaking.
Yeah, well, you can do that with Serum as well, can't you? You can actually put audio into it.
What, into Serum?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I've not used Serum for a bit though. No.
Yeah.
I know you can with Harmer.
Yeah, you can do it with Serum. You can put audio into them, and then like obviously add to it.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's the great thing about that is shaping the sound like from within, and then you can use wavetables then for it.
Yeah.
Have you used Avenger?
Yeah, I've got Avenger. I haven't used it a lot, but I think there again, I'm sure that's what we're using when I was at yours.
Oh, it would have been, yeah. Did I show you the sequence? The sequences where you just hold one button and it plays a whole tune.
yeah. Not just that though, because I can remember because you were on about Guy knowing like obviously the pure ins and outs of the actual VST.
Yeah.
And then when he just so happened to come downstairs,
Yeah.
we were both like, "Oh, can you show how to do this?" And he was like, "Yeah, no problem." And then he was showing me all this stuff in the VST itself. What I was sat in, I was like, "Oh my god, pure amazed!" Like,
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
You can imagine how overwhelmed I've been for many years with him teaching me stuff that I literally, like my first lesson with him 10 years ago was, and I've still got it written on a record sleeve. He was teaching me how to make, like the Joy Energizer sound using pitch AB in silence, and then like automating an envelope to like use pitch AB to like and then like changing the rate and things like that. And I was like, whoa, I was like, is this how difficult it is? And he didn't tell me for ages. He was like, no, you can use presets. But that was like later on. I was like, what?
You can load up a bank and just choose a sound.
I didn't know that for ages. And I was like, fuck you. Like, you show me all of this stuff and I can't work it out. I wasn't having fun with it at all. And then he was like, yeah, but you can just use presets. And then I had this whole thing in my head about, oh, that's cheating. So I made it very, very difficult for myself. But I will say this now, I do love using presets, but what I do love is the ability now to be able to reverse engineer any sound back to an original, one of its state, its normal, its most basic waveform. And I think having that as a skill allows you to take what you want from a preset, even if it's as simple as knowing where to turn off the delay or the compression in that, or the EQing, the extra EQing that's in there, whatever it is. It's very useful to understand how these things work. Why is it mono instead of poly? What the terminology is for portamento? What does that mean? And it's all those kind of little things allow you to have more control over your sounds.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
What
I mean,
about
like,
you, Dean? Do you make your stuff from scratch?
There's nothing wrong at all, like using presets and stuff. Like, I use presets myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and all I do is, like, if I like a sound, I think, I like that. But then I think to myself, right, now I can mess about with that and probably make it even better than what it sounds, or mess about with it and change it slightly so then it becomes your sound.
Yes.
So you don't feel like you've just chose a preset and just chucked it in and thought, that'll do, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
That's
so
a really good
if you
way
just
of putting
mess
it.
about, yeah.
Yeah, like even if it's as simple as if it was for a layer, for like if you were making chords and you were trying to find a sound for a layer, even as simple as knowing where to change the octave.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, just to get it more into a space where, say, like if you were looking for a more mid-textured sound, adding white noise, where to do that kind of thing. That's always such a good skill set to have, and it doesn't take long. But yeah, the way that guy taught me, it was like, what the fuck. And then he taught me alchemy as well, and then I just went off on my own for a long time and messed around with it and really, really enjoyed it. Once I got the hang of it, I did enjoy it, but my god, it was so overwhelming in the beginning because there's just so much like to choose from out there now. But I'd recommend that people get a synth where you can add audio to an oscillator. So if Serum does that, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Cool.
Serum.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got one more.
I only realised that myself not long ago.
No, is it a new thing or has it always been in Serum?
I actually don't know. I was just messing about with it one day, and then I looked at at the side of the plugin. It's like on the left hand side.
Oh, is it like hidden?
No, it's not hidden on out. It's just like a little tab bit on the side.
Huh.
And then I thought, what's that? And then I ended up clicking on it and that. I thought, hold on a minute. So then I just ended up dragging sounds into it and that. I thought,
no way.
Right. So, yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah. So there's another bit of tip for you guys.
There you go, top tip.
You can whack some sounds into Serum before you know what I mean, and then add to them, sort of thing. So
yeah. Yeah, I think sometimes that works. Well, I know it works better than like if you use like a little vocal shot or something. Sometimes putting it into a synth and shaping it through the sound instead of just adding stuff on top of it to an effects chain, it gives it a different feel and a different texture. You get more control again over it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next one is Azimuth Man and Sea Dragon. Wow, Azimuth Man there with Sea Dragon. Oh, I love that name. I love that name for it because, like, it makes me think about a sea dragon now. Do you know what I mean, Dean?
Yeah, yeah.
If I met a sea dragon, that is what it would sound like. But yeah, I love Azimuth Man stuff. He's been on the show before, very Dead Mouse influenced, I feel, but not in a way that it is a rip-off of Dead Mouse, because Dead Mouse does have more percussion and it's got more of that kind of EDM sound to it. This is definitely more kind of synth wavy almost, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I've noticed it was like very, like there was like a lot of pad work in there. There was like a good few layers of pads and that I could hear in there. And then that arpeggiated sound as well. What was in there? I
Yeah.
reckon that maybe could have. I don't know. It sounded like a couple of the sounds were like a little bit like sort of overpowering each other a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe could have been done with. I don't know if it's just me through these headphones, but it maybe could have done with being like correcting the levels a little bit more.
Yeah, so like a
and
mix
slightly-
down thing.
and then slight little bits of more EQ added. Maybe a bit more compression or something, just to try and gel them together a bit more.
Yeah, I get ya. Yeah, I mean, again, I love this style. I don't think I've ever tried to make this style of music, but I would like to. Like, it's very progressive. It puts me in a nice frame of mind. Again, I would listen to this on a car journey, and I could see this in films. You know, like music for the moving image, like film scores and stuff like this. I think they would, you know, with sync music or library music, I think they would always be looking for this kind of stuff. You know, I could hear this in a car ad, like Yes My Selector says, neon lights, Night Rider car driving through an apocalyptic city. Yes.
No way. It's funny I actually say that, because when I was sat there and I was thinking to myself, I thought, hey, this could be in like an advert or something.
Yeah.
This
Defo advert
like,
music.
So obviously we thought the same thing there.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, again, if anyone's not aware, you can get into sync music and library music, make yourself quite a bit of music. You can make yourself quite a bit of money. You'd have to make yourself quite a bit of music for it as well. But yeah, it's a good way to earn a living. I mean, I've got a friend of mine who now does the music for Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And Les from Lab 4, he does a lot of sync music where he'll do like adverts for Reebok and stuff like that. Yeah. That's how he makes most of his bread and butter, really. I mean, obviously, you know, this is something that is quite notable for us to think about as artists, is to have the stuff that we love to make, but then be okay with making music that, you know, as an engineer would, in different styles. Like, that's okay, because that's probably where you're going to make the bulk of your money. You know, if you want to be in this industry full time, you're going to have to think of ways that you can make money through engineering, but it might not always be engineering in the music that you're mainly known for. It could be any of the genre, and there's so much work out there. I mean, people can make upwards of £80,000 for 7 seconds of music. It's just ridiculous, you know, and that's where we need to come out of the mentality of, oh, we'll just maybe make enough money to get by, and really look at the bigger picture, especially if you're from one of the poorer genres such as me, like hard house. You know, you need to look outside that box. It's really important that you do, and look at just where, you know, you don't know, you might actually be really good at making synthwave. You might actually be really good at making, you know, these playlists that go up all the time of study music, you know, this lo-fi music. People, you know, on Spotify, one of my teachers at uni, he is very well known on Spotify, like has hundreds of thousands of people following his music on there, along with people like Bonobo. And it's all like lo-fi in the background music, which is, you know, it's kind of difficult to to do, you know, if you're used to like hardcore and stuff like that. But it's a really good skill set to have to be able to, you know, do library music. But if you just search library music or sync music, SYNK, and you'll be able to find, you know, where to get on the onto the mailing lists for that. So, for example, Les told me in the past he's had an email will come through saying 50 Cent needs a new beat for a new track that he's doing. And then you'd make your beat and you'd send it to this audio pool. And then if it gets picked, there you go.
That's great.
Yeah, you need to get on this, Dean, if you don't know about it already. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I'll look that up. Like,
yeah.
but
I mean, go on, sorry.
I always say to people though as well, like, don't just, if you're gonna like produce music and that, don't just like produce one type of genre of music. Just venture out into a bit of everything. Like, I mean, I've even been like, I've thought about it past couple of months now. Still haven't got around to it, like, but I'm wanting to try and have me little go at some drum and bass and that.
No, wicked.
It's not like me. It's not one of me like favorite like types of genres of music or that, but just the fact so I can just say I've had a go of it, you know, like.
Yeah.
And if you actually like making it, you'll continue to make it along with other genres, whatever else you make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's always good to just venture out into a bit of everything.
Yeah.
I mean.
You want to speak to AFOT on that then. AFOT makes some really good D&B. AFOT's in the chat there. I think you'd be great at doing some D&B. And this scene is very welcoming as well.
Yeah. It's good if you've got a nice welcoming scene. Like,
yeah,
definitely.
They definitely do. And it's a very... I mean, it's always been around, but it's very commercially viable right now as well.
Yeah,
you know, which is great. It's like again, computer music. Someone just mentioned there, Liquid D&B. Horizon has got like Hospital Records on the music that you can listen to when you're playing Horizon Forza. You know, like it's crazy. Like these little avenues that we don't think of, because music, how often do we hear music? It's everywhere. It's absolutely everywhere. So we need to get used to not just making a dance track. You know, think that it's quite possible that you could be paid thousands and thousands of pounds for 5 seconds of music.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, AFOT's just said there in the chat, Drake, if you want to link up, he can give you some help. I've known him for years. He's a really, really good producer.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll follow him on here. I'm not really like Twitch. I'm only actually on. I only signed up on Twitch just like for the fact of coming watching demo drop and stuff like that. But I've never really like got like fully into Twitch.
It's weird, isn't it?
I've just followed him there, like, but I don't know if he can maybe catch us on Facebook or something as well. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll send him your Facebook details anyway if it's easier.
Yeah,
that's not a problem, my love.
We'll definitely link up though. Like, there's Timmy Coop.
Pardon?
Timmy Coop. There's Timmy Coop.
Timmy Coop, hello, mate. Making some great jokes there, mate. What do you call a sheep with a machine gun? Lambo. Wow. Okay, so on that note, we've come to the end of yet another amazing demo drop. I've really, really enjoyed this one. And also Dean is doing a sample pack at the moment. For anyone that wants to know a bit more about that, just get in contact with him. I'm just going to put your...
Yeah, just drop me Facebook link in there.
Yeah, I'm just going to... I'm going to spam your Facebook now in the chat. Because then everyone can send you a friend request then as well. Yeah. 1 second. So this is Dean's Facebook. Don't send him any dick pics. And yeah, send him a friend request, send him a message. So yeah, and thank you very much, mate. I've really, really enjoyed this one. It's been an honour to have you on, and I'm going to get you round soon so we can do a new track together.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed actually being on. Yeah, just having a good chat and listening to the songs and giving people little tips and ideas and stuff like that. It's been nice to have a bit of a catch up with you as well.
I
Like
know,
so,
and you,
yeah,
mate. It's been ages
yeah.
since I've seen you,
Because I
but yeah,
know I
it's
know you're dead busy all the time and that as well though. So
oh, do you know what? I said
yeah,
to myself recently that I wanted to make sure I got out the house. I even went out Sunday to Nottingham to see some friends, to actually get out the house and just do some normal stuff, because
yeah,
I think after or during COVID, I said to myself, like, I want to see my friends more. I want to see people, because we know all of us are guilty for this. We all say, yeah, we'll meet up soon, or we'll sort something out, and then it comes to near the weekend that you sort something out, and then like, oh, I can't do it now, and then things, get like forgotten about. And I really
yeah.
didn't
It
want to
does.
do
Yeah,
that. So I wanted to spend a bit more time not being too busy, but, seeing my friends and having that connection. Because one thing about Twitch, and I love my Twitch community, you can get very addicted to being online and then
yeah,
not having any break, Like I see it a lot. I do see that quite a lot with people on Twitch, where they just kind of like, they get the fear of not being online. So sometimes, like, I can think to myself, oh, I'd like to have a night off, but I'm just worried that all my viewers will go and they'll leave and they'll never come back, kind of thing. And you have to kind of you have to trust that won't happen.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's good fun, and I hope that you do use Twitch a bit more. Maybe get on at some point, do your own little production show or something. That'd be quite cool.
I maybe could do something like that. Come to think of it, like
Yeah,
that would
it would be
pretty
really
good
good if you
idea.
did. I always get a lot of people watching when I'm doing anything in the studio, so I'm
Yeah,
absolutely positive that doing something like that will get you a following really quick. Really quick.
yeah.
And then of course you've always got the possibility the dead mouse could just drop in at any point. Like,
Yeah,
that's the great thing about Twitch, is there's so many influential and respected people on here that you never know who's going to be watching. So yay.
yeah.
Well, thank you, my love. We're going to go over to DJ Mixie now. I'm probably going to go on my old channel in a bit and do some more Final Fantasy on my gaming channel, because I haven't played it for about 2 weeks and I'm getting withdrawals. I really am. But yeah, thanks again, Dean. I love you.
Yeah, no, but I love you too,
Mwah.
I'm back. I'll
And I'll
speak
speak
to
to
you
you
soon
soon.
anyway.
Yep. All right, darling.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
And then, yeah, I will see you guys. It's my day off tomorrow. I will see you all on Thursday. Love you. Bye.